Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 WWE wrestlers from the 1990s. For this list, we're going to be looking at the best WWE superstars from the 1990s. The focus is only on what each wrestler accomplished during the decade. Who is your favorite WWE Attitude Era wrestler? Let us know in those comments below. Number 10. Owen Hart. The Hart Dungeon has a pretty decent track record when it comes to wrestlers, and Owen Hart was as fantastic as they come. A technical master who incorporated aerial moves when it was hardly commonplace, Owen Hart could roll with the best of them in the ring. An accomplished tag team and single wrestler, Owen Hart could always be relied upon to create something special. While the King of Hearts had plenty of memorable feuds, Owen's heel run opposite his brother Bret is the stuff of legends. The siblings produced perhaps the best opening bout in WrestleMania history, and a contender for the greatest steel cage match ever. Number 9. Randy Savage. Even though the Macho Man's WWE career peaked during the 80s, Randy Savage was still nothing short of awesome during the 90s. Before being relegated to the commentary table, Savage consistently featured in some of the strongest feuds of any given year. Whether he was trading incredible promos with Jake the Snake Roberts, giving the Ultimate Warrior the best match of his career, or inspiring adults to cry alongside Miss Elizabeth, Savage made WWE must-watch TV regardless of whether he was in or out of the ring. Savage's feud with Ric Flair was also a highlight of Nature Boy's short stint in WWE during the 90s. Number 8. Triple H. Paul Levesque showed up in WWE with an aristocrat gimmick, solid wrestling fundamentals, and a lovely head of hair. Although it took a while, he eventually evolved into Triple H as part of the iconic D-Generation X, a stable that helped usher in the Attitude Era. Although he didn't peak until 2000, Triple H was a reliable upper mid-card player throughout the late 90s, culminating in a WWF Championship win in 1999. During this period, Triple H steadily grew into the figure who would dominate WWE for the next decade, producing some fantastic feuds along the way, such as his 1998 rivalry with The Rock. Number 7. Kane. During The Undertaker's Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels at 1997's Bad Blood in Your House, Paul Bearer led the dead man's younger brother to the ring. Kane proceeded to tear the cell's door off and tombstone The Undertaker, completing arguably the most iconic debut in WWE history. This moment instantly secured Kane's legacy, but the Big Red Machine was a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the decade. Kane matched a genuinely terrifying presence with charisma, in-ring skills, and, eventually, flashes of humanity, setting the stage for a career that would span decades. Number 6. Mick Foley. Mick Foley is simply a treasure. Coming to WWE with hardcore pedigree, Foley quickly proved he was far more than a spot monkey, establishing himself as one of the WWE's most accomplished storytellers. Whether as Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, or himself, Foley consistently brought an almost unmatched understanding of ring psychology to matches. So many legendary WWE moments from the late 90s feature Foley in some form or another, be it the This Is Your Life segment with The Rock, the Hell in the Cell match with The Undertaker, or Mankind's WWE Championship win on Raw. Number 5. The Undertaker. WWE changed a lot during the 90s, and through all the highs, lows, and King Mabel, The Undertaker remained a staple. Officially debuting at 1990's Survivor Series, The Undertaker was unlike any other gimmick in the WWE. Once he moved on from monsters like Giant Gonzalez, Taker developed into one of the WWE's most reliable attractions and performers, frequently producing magic with the likes of HBK, Mankind, and Steve Austin. During the Attitude Era, Taker led the Ministry of Darkness, an endearingly outlandish stable that embraced wrestling's carny roots and pushed the envelope of what was acceptable. Number 4. Shawn Michaels. WWE would have been in big trouble if Shawn Michaels wasn't around during the New Generation. After splitting up from Marty Jannetty in one of the most iconic tag team breakups ever, Michaels spent the next few years climbing up the ranks, eventually establishing himself at the top of the WWE mountain. Believable as both a face and a heel, the Heartbreak Kid regularly stole the show. During the 90s, Michaels crafted some all-time great matches with Bret Hart, Mankind, Razor Ramon, The Undertaker, and Diesel. Sadly, a back injury meant HBK had to sit out most of the Attitude Era. Number 3. Bret Hart. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. The Hitman lived up to his catchphrase. An in-ring general with few peers, Bret Hart's mat-based wrestling style set him apart from the goofy tone of the new generation, and the Hitman seemed capable of having a good match with just about anyone. Hart's matches rarely had time-wasting spots, every move served a purpose and added to the contest's overall story. Bret Hart produced classics with Owen Hart, Mr. Perfect, the British Bulldog, Steve Austin, and HBK, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Number 2. The Rock. When Dwayne Johnson debuted as a bland babyface called Rocky Maivia, few people could have predicted that he would become the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. Once part of the Nation of Domination, The Rock transformed into a superstar who could cut a promo better than just about anyone in the business. While he had a few fun babyface runs during the 90s, The Rock shone the brightest as the villainous corporate champion going up against Steve Austin, sparking the definitive feud of the Attitude Era. Although uncomfortable to revisit in places, The Rock's rivalry and strange friendship with Mankind also produced plenty of unforgettable moments. Before we unveil our top pick, here's some honorable mentions. Ken Shamrock, because he made every match feel legit. Razor Ramon, because the bad guy looked, talked, and walked the part. Hulk Hogan, because Hulkamania ran wild a few times during the early 90s. The Ultimate Warrior, because those pops speak for themselves. Mr. Perfect, because Kurt Hennig could out-wrestle just about anyone. China, because the ninth wonder of the world demolished the glass ceiling. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Attitude Era was wrestling's boom period, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was by far its biggest star. While his WWE career got off to a slow start, Stone Cold exploded in popularity following his Austin 316 promo and his WrestleMania 13 classic with Bret Hart that featured perhaps the best double turn ever. In the late 90s, nothing screamed wrestling more than Austin giving a Stone Cold Stunner to Vince McMahon and then drinking a beer. Before an injury forced Austin to change into more of a brawler, Stone Cold was also an accomplished technical wrestler. Even all these years later, Austin's pops are still goosebump-inducing. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.